Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds. It's Monday. We got a Super Bowl champion. But, when it comes down to two great defenses playing each other, you knew it was going to be a snooze fest.
Well, it was in many respects. For some reason, much of the scoring in the NFL this year has come in the fourth period. And that was the case in last night's game, 17-13 at one time. And that was the scoring total. And the defense is what held. And the Seattle Seahawks like to go back into history and brag on their Legion of Boom defense back in I think it's 2014. This year's defense, the dark side is better. My goodness sake, they just totally stymied New England at every point. 29-13 is the final score. The Seattle Seahawks win the championship. In Seattle, there was never really any doubt in anybody's mind because their defense was so overwhelming. Now, you take a look at simply the stats, and you'll see that New England outpassed Seattle by about 4 yards, somewhere along that line. And you would think, well, they totaled up some points. Well, they did in the fourth period when it was way out of hand. The Patriots could not rush the ball at all. Total rushing for the game, total rushing was 79 yards. That was it. And here's Kenneth Walker of the Seattle Seahawks running for 161 yards. My goodness sake. And indeed, that made the big difference. And the fact that Drake May had no time at all to be able to formulate any kind of offense. He was sacked 6 times and hurried probably a whole lot more than that. One of the touchdowns that Seattle scored was called an interception, and I guess it was in some respects, but the ball was actually knocked out of May's hands and picked off by a guy right next to him who ran it in for the touchdown. What did you think of the game, Mike? You saw
it was just I wanted an exciting game at least, because I had no dog in that hunt. But at the end of the day, it was just, like I said, you got two great defenses just shutting each other down repeatedly. And then eventually Seattle were able to kind of make things. But that game, there was what would he had kicked 5 field goals record?
5 field goals.
So, that's a big deal. It just shows you how dominant the Seahawks team is. The whole time I'm thinking, how much more they're going to get out of this team because they're up for sale. It blows my mind that the Seahawks are literally going to the table for sale after this win. But if you look back at the end of January, it's crazy because I pulled up 2 articles. At the end of January, the article Sportico is like $6.59 billion for the value. Now, about 9 hours ago, $9 to $11 billion. So that's a difference of about, $2 to $3 billion, if not more, in the last 2 weeks, just because they won a Super Bowl. So, good on them, good on the ownership. They're going to cash in, but I think it's just crazy that as soon as you win a championship, sell a team and move on, right?
Well, they are a very good organization. They have been. They're usually in contention. There have been some down years under Pete Carroll. But by the same token, they can play. They have a very good formula for what they're doing. Their ownership has really backed them all the way. I'm a little surprised that the value went up by $3 million. But, hey, that's all, or $3 billion, I should say. That's part of the game. That's part of big-time athletics. I think that Seattle is a team of the future. I think they'll be back next year, although I would not sell any of these NFL teams short because you do have the injury factor. But this team's young. Kenneth Walker still has a few more years left. He was the most valuable player, ran for 161 yards. But the defense, as we mentioned earlier, is what won the game. Now, the next thing is, and this is a question that only you can answer because I cannot, how was Bad Bunny?
As a musician, I love Afro-Cuban stuff. So I love that style of music. I always have, regardless of politics or anything else. Music's to me. So the performance was great. But again, I wasn't engaged totally throughout that whole day. I was watching the Olympics up until the point that they forced us to the Super Bowl coverage, and I was kind of hoping I'd see some more Olympic stuff. So that was my focus for the most part. That was also the weird part about the weekend was how much of the Olympic Super Bowl crossover, especially yesterday, considering the Lindsey Vonn accident, and then and the other chick getting the gold and the downslope stuff. And
Reese Johnson,
I thought that was an interesting day. So my head was more focused on the stuff going on in Milan than it was in San Francisco. So again, not to say that it wasn't bad, and congrats Seahawks fans. It just wasn't exciting.
You saw more of it than I did because I didn't watch any of it at all, and I'm talking about halftime now. And I'm very curious to see what the ratings were.
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, Ned. And I know you'll have those numbers sooner than later.
I think probably by tomorrow they should be complete. Nielsen usually puts them out about that time. The other rating services do too. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very large number at the start and then a massive drop-off. I just think that's what's going to happen.
By halftime, for sure. So, got world champions in the NFL, but that wheel continues to spin. It won't be too long. We're talking, 2 months before we're back to it with the NFL draft.
Actually, even before then. The draft will be then, but the NFL always keeps itself in the headlines somewhere along the line. Final score was 29-13 Seattle. Jason Myers had a record 5 field goals in the game. Defense won it. Okay, the NFL always has something going. The by invitation only football combine begins on February 22nd in Indianapolis, just 2 weeks from now. And many schools, of course, will have their spring practice later this month, mostly through March, but some in April as well. How about the United Football League? It kicks off on March the 27th. I'm curious as to how long that's going to continue. They have a TV contract, but regardless of that, does anybody really show up, or is there any kind of passionate understanding? There is in St. Louis, but elsewhere, I don't think so. We'll see. From February 17th through March the 3rd, the NFL teams can designate their franchise players if there are any they want to do that. They have that window to do so. The NFL opens its business year on March the 11th, and the annual NFL draft is April 23rd through 25th. It's in Pittsburgh, but it's at 2 locations. One is the Point State Park. That's at the confluence of the Monongahela and the Allegheny Rivers. It forms the Ohio right there. That's a huge 36-acre park. They'll have it there and at a Crisher Stadium where the Pittsburgh Steelers play. So always something going on to keep football in the spotlight.
Yeah, definitely. What about some college basketball? What happened there?
Well, Missouri State found themselves down by 20 points midway through the second half when Liberty, which is a pretty good basketball team, not great, but a pretty good basketball team nonetheless, came out and hit everything in sight. The Bears did not give up. They came fighting back, and down the stretch they got it to within 1 point, could not quite get over the hump, and lost to Liberty by 3 in Lynchburg, Virginia. I thought a terrific outing. 14 of 26 from the foul line is what cost them. They've got to hit their foul shots more than that. Now, the Lady Bears were winners over Western Kentucky, 75-52. The Drury Lady Panthers defeated Truman State, and the Drury Panthers defeated Truman State. Doubleheader sweep for the Drury teams. Mizzou went to South Carolina and blasted the Gamecocks on South Carolina's home court, 78-59, and Arkansas was a 20-point winner over Mississippi State in Starkville, Mississippi. And Mike, there's a very, very big game going on tonight in college basketball. Very big, in my opinion. Kind of flying under the radar a little bit, but there are 2 undefeated men's teams in the country, Miami of Ohio and Arizona. Arizona is the number 1 men's team in the country, and where do they play tonight? The Fog Allen Fieldhouse at Lawrence, Kansas. They're playing KU. It's a conference game. Of course, both teams are in the Big 12. Makes a very big difference. We'll see what happens.
Definitely will. And also, I know you're beaming because college baseball is going to get back to work at the end of the week, isn't it?
Well, the Drury Panthers opened. They were on the road at Huntsville, Alabama, and swept all 3 games from Alabama-Huntsville. It's a great way to start the season, now 3-0. Now tomorrow afternoon, and it looks like it's going to be pretty nice on Tuesday out at Meadow Park, Drury is going to play Central Missouri. And the Warrensburg team from Central Missouri is annually one of the Division II top contenders for national honors. This is a very, very big early test. The baseball Bears at Missouri State hit the road. I don't know what day they'll leave, Wednesday or Thursday, but they're going down to Lafayette, Louisiana, way down by the Gulf, and play Louisiana University in a 3-game series starting on Friday. So, hey, good luck to both teams.
You were right about that weather, man. Looking like I'm riding in every day this week. But have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.